Just double check to make sure all the audio is coming through. Okay. Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. It says we are live. Wilson's in the house. Oh, can I hear myself? Oh, I can hear myself. Amazing. Godziel is back in the house. Welcome back, everybody. If you're watching this on the replay, it's been a ton of live streams lately, but Godziel hit me up, and I have been wanting to talk to you, my friend, because it has been bloody out there. So how are you doing with all of this bloodshed?
I'm good. How's everybody in this bloody week? I think in history got to be one of the greatest crash in the world for crypto, and I think it's a huge lesson learned for everyone, especially with what's going on with Terra Luna, UST. Big lessons to learn, I hope. But I mean, I feel sorry for those who were heavily invested as well. But unfortunately, it happened just too quickly and hardly any opportunity to get out. So I really feel bad, sad for those who are affected. But this is crypto again. I mean, it's a good big lesson for everyone, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely. Look, for anybody who is struggling right now with whatever's going on, like it's okay. Like I understand, like there's some crazy stuff out there, right? People losing like life savings and all that. But you'll get through it. It's a tough moment to be in now. I'm actually somewhat hopeful that the project can find a way to at least stabilize and then build some trust back in, because stable coins have always gotten off their peg for small periods of time. But for me, I actually made the decision yesterday, UST. So I had a good chunk in UST, and I sold it once I hit 70 cents, and I was just like, you know what? I'd rather take the 70 cents now, 70 cents on the dollar, than if this goes to zero. So
yeah, I think it's a good move right there. I have friends who are affected as well. 4 digits, 5 digits, some close to 6. And months back they were heavily invested in UST, and when they're not investing in any other coins or any other assets, they would just fall back on UST as being the stable coin and taking it for granted per se, in some sense, and believing and just putting it there and wait for the next opportunity. But disaster strike, and before you know it, boom, what you thought was stable is gone. And yeah, I told my friends, when it just dived down to like 50, 60 cents, I said that if you can recover anything, it's better than nothing, even as half. Because from what I understand, I'm not an expert in Luna, Terra, UST, but from what I understand on how the algo works, and I was actually closely monitoring what Do Kwon, I think one of the founders of Luna, on Twitter. Everyone was waiting for his response, right? And I've dabbled in a couple of protocols before, and before every crash, everyone is just waiting for the founder, and then people there talk about being diamond hand, double diamond hand, and all that thing. But if you really look at the algo, and if you really understand it, to me, what Do Kwon says is just precisely they are just going to have to print Luna, to sell Luna, take the money to buy back UST up back to the peg. That is the only way. Or external cash has to come in to buy up the excess UST. There's only two options. Minting Luna is easy, right? It's just at the click of a button. The validators just have to approve it in Luna to make it done. The second one is like a bailout. It's like a government bailout, right? External cash coming in, buying up the UST to maintain its peg. But if you think about it logically, who would buy the UST? If you're going to offer even big investment firm, private equity firms, saying that, okay, I'm going to sell you UST at a discount, but I need, like $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion to bring UST back up to its peg, that discount could just disappear the next day. So no big investment firm is going to come in and say, I'll bail you out, because there's no guarantee that the USD prices will remain, or at least be above the discount. So I thought the external bailout was out of the question. I felt that because it's decentralized to a certain extent, there's no one gonna come in and back it up. So the other way is to just mint Luna, which is within their hands, right? So if you read in between the lines of Do Kwon's tweet, right, it basically says that in the short run, we're just gonna have to sacrifice Luna. I'm sorry, we're just gonna mint Luna. Hopefully,
It's crazy,
Luna sells. We take the money and we buy back up UST. Hopefully, that gives some sense of confidence in UST again, and then maybe they can, in the long run, Luna can recover if people continue to believe in the UST pack. Yeah, so I think the panic started. I feel that the error, or maybe the issue that happened is when they were quick to let go of their Bitcoin reserve. And then when they emptied the LFG accounts, that's when panic strikes. That's because you have nothing left.
Yeah, and
And
everything
that's
was
when,
public for people to see too.
yes. And people would think that if the coffers are empty, then what's the value? The value is zero. That's basically it,
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough. Like we can talk about in more detail later. But what do you think about the whole thing?
Yeah, well, so first of all, let's just give a quick shout out to the folks here. So, hello to
Yep.
Wilson, Tim Hendricks, what's going on? Kyle's here. Ahmed, this is not a recording that we're just playing live. I see you, and yeah, thanks for being here. So, Godziel, I appreciate your insights on it, man, because it's definitely been a crazy week. So, from the Luna perspective, I sold out. I was like ready to hold, because I'm just like, at this point in time, for most of my assets, like I'm bear market ready. Like I'm just gonna hold these things, and I hope that there is some kind of recovery in the next 2-3 years, right? So that's how I was viewing it at first. But then I guess just subject to the opinions of many others, like a lot of the other like people, like not influencers, but just people that I was like reading about on Twitter, and they're just like, you know what, I can't take this chance right now. It'd be better to just get back in if and when they can stabilize the ecosystem. So that's why I was like, you know what, let me just sell now and get out, and then find someplace. We can get into this. Find someplace else to park the capital. And I have been strongly considering DEC, because DEC is back below its peg. So if there's some stability there, plus you get that high APR, it's definitely it's definitely appealing, is something that I'll say. But I agree with you on many of the aspects when it comes to the whole Luna situation. It's just I was so bullish on the project, but I wasn't. I knew the tokenomics behind it, and I thought it was brilliant, right? Like it's actually a great kind of innovation for an algorithmic stablecoin. And obviously this was the only coin pumping for the last couple of months, hitting new all-time highs, while Bitcoin was just struggling to stay above, whatever price markers that it was at. But the funny thing, and we don't have to get too far into it now, but the most entertaining thing to me is like I had heard one interview, just one long form interview with Do Kwon, and I found him to be very well spoken. I found like his vision and what he was trying to put together to be fascinating, but I never dug in further than that. And now like there's all these tweets of his surfacing, all of these like interviews where he's like essentially just talking crap about other projects and saying like, oh yeah, bring it.
The arrogant part of him.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that a lot of people are almost like reveling in his like demise here, like the demise of the project. So that's been, again, it's a sucky situation. And I still own, like I haven't sold any Luna, right? I sold my UST, but I like my Luna, the way that when you stake Luna, it takes 21 days to unstake it. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to leave that there. There's no point in me trying to unstake it right now. If I lose it, I lose it, whatever the case is. But Yeah, it's just there was something that I was like reading or listening to where it was like, the way that the exploit was created, they were able to create this downturn or like downward spiral in UST that caused the downward spiral in Luna, that, and then due to the fact that it was backed by Bitcoin,
You
um
sell the corresponding asset as
yeah,
well.
so then there was a downward spiral in Bitcoin. And so whenever you have a downward spiral in Bitcoin, it tends to affect the market overall. So it's just
Yep.
like everything was compounding on one another. So when you say, Godziel, that this is a week for the record books, I
It
believe it.
is.
I mean, Luna
Uh,
Luna was what, $100, $100
yeah, it
just a
was
couple weeks
$100.
ago.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And this is where you know I graduated in economics, and economics is extremely difficult to comprehend
Hmm.
and understand. And needless to say, these algorithms are built out of economic theories, which are actually still in the experimental stage, which you can see. And you have many uh, protocols out there that has failed before or are not doing as well as what it has been marketed or promised, like things like Time Wonderland, Olympus DAO, Jade Protocol, Lunar Terra, because these are really very very complex economic theories that are working behind the scene, and the algorithms are executing them.
Hmm.
So if the theory or the logic is flawed, then it will be exploited, just like what happened to Luna and Terra. So um, the problem comes when Luna, or you say UST, is backed by Luna, right? And then Luna is backed by the LFG, which holds a bucket or basket of assets. And these assets, majority is, I think, like Avalanche, AVAX, and um, Bitcoin, right?
Hmm.
And because in the crypto sphere, everyone believes that Bitcoin is like, the daddy of all coins, then that would be like the most stable. So using that as a backing would give people confidence in the project, which would, in when we call ceteris paribus, which means in everything in constant, that would
Hmm.
be good. But Bitcoin itself is not a defensive stock, nor a defensive asset that can hold value well. So that's when things, that's how they exploit the system, where, when there's too massive sell off in the coin itself, as well as the backing, which is Bitcoin, then it goes down in a spiral that the only way to recover is not to sell. One is you halt trading, which means intervention. And ironically, people hate intervention in the crypto space. But
Yeah.
sometimes intervention can prevent such events from happening because of panic, and it will protect investors' money to a certain extent. Um, but because there isn't this element, and secondly, um, you do not allow shorting of the coin. To me, that's the only way if you
Mm.
want to prevent the downward spiral. Because if when you short and then you make a profit from your short, you will have more capital to short even more, and you make more money, and then you will have more capital to short, and you can just keep shorting till it goes zero. So that's the problem with
Yeah.
shorting. So to me, if you want to have like a stable coin backed by other assets, then that you need to eliminate this couple of factors, like maybe the backing cannot be shorted, or trading will be halted at a certain percentage, just to let the market kind of calm down. Not everyone will not panic sell, or not everyone will get margin call at the same time, such that it just dives like crazy. There needs to be safety nets in place. People can say what they want. They don't want regulation, they don't want decentralization. But if you think about it, who does it protect in the first place? It protects retail investors from big swings from institutions and stuff. So it's a people got to decide if they want complete decentralization, no regulation, no safety nets, versus some of it To me, I'll pick some than none, to be honest. Yeah.
I mean, look, that's a fair point. I think many crypto purists would would disagree with you or sit on the other side of the fence. The the thing about this, and I'm actually curious to get your opinion,
Mhm.
is yeah. So like for myself, right? Like I can't be walking around talking about we want free markets, and then when something like this happens, be like, free markets, except like so I.
Yes.
In a way, like it's not that I wanted this to happen to the
Mhm.
Terra Luna ecosystem. Like I said, I had skin in the game, but part of me looks at this and says, this is the cost of like innovation, right? This is the cost of figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I think there were a lot of things that they got right, but there was a fatal flaw in here, and we'll see if it ends up being fatal. But there was definitely a major exploit that it seems as though people were talking about for a while, and it just needed somebody with a big enough wallet and big enough
Yep.
balls to go after them, right? To actually go
You need the
to
capital.
give it
You
a
need
try.
huge capital to get the
Yeah.
ball rolling. You need huge amount of capital to
Hmm.
even move it at the beginning. But once you break it, then it's like a dam. Once you break the dam, you can't just put a band-aid on a dam. It's not gonna help. It's just all hell break loose. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and there were no safety nets, right? There's literally like
there's
nothing
none.
holding it back. It just happened within like 24 hours, and that's it.
So
It's
let
gone.
let me ask you this so I can better understand markets, because I think you have a better understanding than I do.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to shorting, and you're saying not allowing shorting, the thing is, shorting isn't like it's not up to the protocol. It's not like Do Kwon can just be like
Yeah.
nobody's allowed to short. Like that's up to the exchanges, right? And once a project gets
Yes.
big enough and gets onto certain exchanges, and there's enough
Yep.
like liquidity there, so the whole shorting thing, is that something that you ever see getting solved? Because I feel like it never would be, right, unless there's like this uniform
Yes.
kind of benevolent force that says we're not going to short stuff anymore, which doesn't seem like it's coming anytime soon.
So, yep. So, there are exchanges out there, for example, like, stock market, right? There
Hmm.
has been incidents in the past where shorting has, caused, market to crash. So there are certain exchanges in the world that do not allow shorting of stocks, of company shares, company stocks, because you may there is opportunity for foul play, like trying to force share price to drop in a short run, and then you buy it up for a hostile takeover and stuff like that. So there are safety nets in place in exchanges when it comes to shares, like actual company shares. So such safety nets could be in place, and for coins, as you said, the coin itself on many DeFi platform, even like Hive Engine, right? So it doesn't allow shorting. It's just really actual
True. Okay.
DeFi where it's a one-to-one exchange. There's a willing
That's a good
buyer,
point. Yeah.
there's a willing seller. You trade, you exchange immediately. But for shorting on exchanges, when you're big enough, and exchanges allow shorting because they just need a certain amount of these tokens to be landed, like in the liquidity pools. So
Hmm.
it allows traders to trade, buy sell without actually owning the shares. They just borrow to sell, borrow to buy, and then they trade hands, because exchanges just goes after transaction price, right? They just wants the fees. They earn, that's how they earn money. They earn fees. So the more transactions there are, the more volumes there are, they earn more money. And to get this revenue in for them, they just need some liquidity on both sides and allow people to buy and trade. So the shorting is allowed by exchanges, like as you explained. So if I do not want my token to be susceptible to such attack, then I will have to, ensure that my tokens on the exchanges are not allowed to be margin traded, or not allowed to be shorted, not allowed to be leveraged. And it has to be just, spot trading, just buy and sell. Yep.
Gotcha. Interesting. It makes me have a little bit more appreciation for a lot of the decentralized exchanges that we have then. Although I would assume that if we ever get to a point big enough, that they might be able to figure out ways to automate that, just
Yeah.
like they
So
have.
I think that's the problem with, it's like Terra Luna was caught in between. They wanted both. They wanted you wanted DeFi, but at the same time they were still on big exchanges that
Hmm.
allows margin trading and shorting. So then that's not, because exchanges are the one that controls such movement and it affects the prices, right? So
Yeah,
that's not really DeFi anymore. So when you're caught in both, that's when the exploit comes in. Yeah.
for sure. All right, let's take a moment to say hello to some other folks who are here. Zach is in the house. Harris, what's up? It's happy 6 cent SPS day. Yes, indeed. Marlon's here. What's going on? So I think the meta universe will bloom because of that. More trustworthy than holy. Okay, so we're gonna get into the NFTs versus crypto in a moment. So Jabi, what's going on? Joel, time to buy DEC. I was just talking about it. I mean, look. Here's the thing with DEC, it can always go lower, and it's definitely been way below its peg for a while. So if you buy it, just be ready to hold for a bit. And
Yeah.
there's no saying that there's no saying that it will ever go back to its peg, actually, is I think a good way to look at it. It's just that the team will always honor it for products at its peg, as they have done in the past.
Yep.
So I don't, how much are you into the NFT space outside of Splinterlands? I don't remember,
Uh,
Godziel. I don't
nope,
feel like
not
when we talked
involved.
previously, yeah, you and I weren't buying like NFTs, but like how are you feeling about Splinterlands NFTs and how they're holding their value, and kind of how you're approaching this, like the the fallout from the whole Terra Luna system, or Terra Luna
Yeah.
fiasco that's happened, and
Yeah.
how that's viewing um your looks, your thoughts on the market, and then your thoughts specifically on Splinterlands.
Okay. Just 1 second. I
Yeah.
want to address like Ahmad's
Oh, please go ahead.
question that's linked to what we just discussed, so that we wrap that up. Yeah. So he says that the problem, in his opinion, the biggest problem with crypto is lending people coins that they cannot afford and do not understand. That's very true. And it's not just in crypto. You see it in shares trading as well, of company
Yeah.
shares. In This is the problem. If you think about it logically, just common sense, nothing too complex. If I have one Luna today, right, and then I bought the Luna, and what I can do is I lend the Luna to the exchange, right, and he pays me an APR, like maybe 3%, 5%, 10%. And what happens is, let's say, okay, maybe Aftersound owns that Luna, right, and he lends it to the exchange, and I come in and say I want to short Luna now. What I'll do, because I don't have the Luna, right, so I would just borrow one Luna from the exchange and sell it at this price. So I'll short it. Hopefully I will buy it back at a lower price later and return it back to the exchange, and I will profit the difference. That's how I make money, by shorting. And if you think about it, Aftersound is someone who believes in Luna. That's why he buys Luna, right? So you bought Luna because you believe in it. You buy it,
Hmm.
but you lend it to me, to someone who doesn't believe in it, and I'm selling it to force the price down. Then what are you doing? You think about it. You owned it, but you lend it to someone who is trying to force the price down.
So okay, so you're talking about essentially like diametrically opposed incentives there, right? Like, so why would I
Yeah.
give it, like, for a small little APR, whatever it ends up being, why would I give it to somebody who's actively trying to bring the price of the asset that I hold down?
Yes, so this is why
Interesting.
I don't like shorting, or I do not prefer having shorting in exchanges, because this logic is very, so
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
for me, right? Like, my bet is that I just want to push this down and I profit, but I'm profiting it off someone who is believing in the project and who has already invested buying the token. So this logic is what is, to me, very unfair to long holders, people who long
Hmm.
projects or tokens or shares, because you're lending your actual asset to someone who's trying to go the opposite direction. Why would you do that? Right? So
That's true. Yeah.
that's So just that's why shorting can cause many problems, and it has caused many problems in the share market for years and decades before, and now we see a prime example that will be in the history books.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is an example for the ages, that's for sure.
yeah, okay, yeah. So that's just to round
No, no,
up Ahmed's
thanks for
question,
digging into that
and
further.
yeah, you're totally right, Ahmed. So this is what you're trying to say. Totally agree. Yeah, and to NFTs and tokens, I think um it's very different. Like the product, like whether I see tokens as a product and um assets as a product itself, I don't enjoy buying currencies because the currency value will only appreciate when there is demand for the use of the currency.
Hmm.
So, for example, if you buy Crew, like Kronos, Crypto.com coin, or BNB or FTT for FTX, these coins are dedicated for that particular exchange, and it will only increase if the volume and demand for that token in that exchange rises. So what you are banging on is more and more people using that token, and that's the driver of the price appreciation.
Hmm.
That is the product. The product is more and more people trading, more and more people using the coin. The demand for the coin rises. That's where you get your capital appreciation. For asset like NFT, what you what you buy is what you like. You like that NFT. I do not want to call picture or JPEG because people get, but for some of the laymen's like me, maybe that will
Yeah,
be easier to understand. Like if you buy
sure,
that
sure.
picture, the NFT you like, but what you really want is hoping that someone else appreciates it as much as you do, or even more than you do, and willing to pay a higher price than you did. And that's where you get your capital appreciation. So that's assuming it is just like a picture or NFT that has no utility.
Sure.
So Splinterlands would be another topic that we can cover later on. So if you're just asking me to compare this, then uh, it really depends what you want. Like if you think you really like that that picture and you think that there will be someone else who will be willing to pay a higher price in the future, it's just like an art collection, then invest in it. Yeah. But you could be the only person in the world that like that picture or the
Yeah.
NFT, and that's it. It will be yours forever. Yeah. So the liquidity, like how liquid this asset is, for the NFT, the liquidity is not that high compared to currencies, because currencies, you have thousands or millions of people trading on, like BNB, crypto.com, FTX. So you can it's easier to sell off that token if you do not want it anymore. It's more liquid. It's easier to find a buyer to buy that, but it's harder to find a buyer for that particular picture that you have bought, or the NFT that you have bought of, like sea, open sea, etc.
Sure,
So
sure. Yeah.
you have to think of how liquid the item, how easily is it going to be sold, and that applies to Splinterlands as well.
Gotcha. What are you thinking of when you see kind of the price action that's been happening across all of the Splinterlands assets? I like, and I guess we can specifically look at cards because, like, when I look at tokens and I include vouchers in the tokens, right? So all three of them, like that to me is just like those are always going to be subject to market forces. That
Mm-hmm.
BTC going down, stock market going down is always going to drive a lot of kind of price action in that. But people
Mm.
are looking at cards, and specifically cards that are out of print, and kind of pointing to those to say like, hey, these things are holding their value. And in contrast to what you were just talking about, like, NFTs that are just JPEGs or something, like these have I mean, they're JPEGs, right, at the end of the day, but they also have a utility of you can go and play and earn and have some kind of fun with them.
Yep. For Splinterlands, I think like there are so many assets right now, right? So
Mm-hmm.
okay, I think we can start with uh SPS and DEC first, since like we're on the topic of like Terra and Luna, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um recently they have said that the reward system is going to change, and then it has been delayed to maybe June, right? Because previously, if you think about it, Matt was a supporter, and he's amazed by the Luna
Yeah, yeah.
Terra system. But look what has happened. Yes, because it's so complex. It's really, really complex, and you probably need a couple of PhD in economics to even come up with something that complex. It's really tough, and it has to be tested. So, like right now, I think everyone's a bit. I think in the general chat, the math chat, everyone's a bit edgy now because DEC is off the 0.001
Mm-hmm.
sort of soft peg. So, and it's also because communities have been using terms very loosely, like stablecoin term, even stablecoin term, pegging. It's used very loosely to give some sort of misconception, yeah, that something is supposed to be but may not necessarily be. It's what we call like substance over form. Like you can
Sure,
call
yeah.
this thing a stable coin, that's like the form, but substance wise there is nothing supporting it. So always look for substance over form. So for example, DEC, there is an algorithm that determines the print rate of DEC
Or
every
DEC.
day, and it is counter inflationary, where if the price is lower, you know then it prints less, hope, because and then when the price is higher than point 0.1, it prints more. And the idea is it generates the opposing force by having more supply and less supply, such that hoping to provide some sort of market forces to bring the
Mm-hmm.
price back down or back up. But it's not a guarantee, because there are other factors that affect market forces. It's the algorithm is just one of it. So
Mm-hmm.
there can be other forces that really that amplifies it or even like neutralize it, such that it doesn't return as quickly as you think it would, or it doesn't return. So
Well, we saw that with the airdrop, right? I mean, the airdrop
yeah,
made it go 15x, and the peg essentially meant nothing.
yeah, and this is what people has to understand, that that the terms like pegging doesn't it is not pegged. DEC is not pegged to
Mm-hmm.
0.001. Then some of them will use the term like soft peg.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So even if Matt announces tomorrow that okay, tomorrow DEC you can use 4,000 DEC to exchange for one peg, DEC may not necessarily rise back to point 0.1, it, because it just provides some sort of support that to retain some value in DEC. But if no one wants to buy pack, then DEC will just fall, right? Because
Yeah.
no one wants to spend the pack. But if people wants the product, which is the pack, then people are willing to spend DEC to buy the pack. It will sort of eliminate some supply of DEC in the market, which may cause upward price pressure to bring it back up to point 0.1, which is
Mm-hmm.
what the algorithm is designed to do so. So it is very complicated, but it doesn't happen magically where, okay, if I set 4,000 DEC for one pack, tomorrow you will see in Hive Engine it goes to 0.001. It doesn't happen automatically. It's just uh, effects, circumstances, environment, hoping to promote the market forces to behave like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
this is a message that really needs to reach out to like a lot more like Splinterlands player, because I feel that the society, the, the, the society is not, or the community is not that well informed right now, and everyone deserves to know, and I hope more and more people can understand and learn more, which would help everyone actually.
Yeah, well, that's hopefully what we're trying to do here. Hold on, before I respond, let's just take a quick moment to catch up on some chat. Mike M is in the house. Dominic is here. Hello, saying good entry point for some Solana. I mean, it's a good entry point for many many projects if you believe in them. Fun for all's in the house. Time to take your BTC off exchanges. Yep, not your keys, not your coins. Dom saying NFTs have different utility. Every project is different. When you buy an NFT, you have to trust the founders and teams. Yeah, read the comments. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Yeah, Dom. No, I know, Dom. You're big into the Solana NFT space, and I'm not trying to. And I don't think I'm not gonna speak for Godzilla, but I don't think that either of us is trying to get into like saying that NFTs are bad. It's just a matter of like what utility does it have to you, and that's kind of why like I've been focusing on buying cards just for myself and my deck, right? Because I can't really trust so many of the other market factors, including things that have nothing to do with the market, like the game meta changing, right? So I can't really count on that. All I want to be able to do is just play and continue to earn with the cards. Jabi's in the house. Will of D, what's going on? Jabi, sorry, I don't know what's going on with your keyboard. And I have been saying, as long as they keep printing 1 million DEC every day, no way they will make you buy packs with them. It will mess up card values big time. No, so I haven't. This is okay. So this is something that Matt actually mentioned is probably going to happen. Now, there's a historical precedent for this too, because before the airdrop happened and inflated the price of DEC, you could go in and they would honor the peg value of DEC to buy packs, right? So you could go in and buy what was like an untamed pack for 2,000 DEC at the time if you wanted to. The thing is, once the airdrop came in and DEC's value got inflated, people would look at that and make a mistake sometimes, right? So the thing is, when DEC was 0.002, for example, if you were to spend 4,000 DEC, you're paying $8 for a pack. Like, why would you ever do that? The smart thing to do would take that 8,000 DEC or that 4,000 DEC, use 2,000 to buy credits, and then take those 2,000 and buy a pack, right? Because that would be roughly $4 US. So I think that mistake was just happening too many times, which is why they took the option out. But it seems as though that option has been there historically for previous sets. So I do believe that they are going to bring that back in. And I am of the mindset that I think that they should bring that in. They should bring that in like now.
Yes,
I think they were
I
waiting
agree.
until after the airdrop, but the market has decided that the value of DEC is low enough now. And for them, they might still look at this and be like, well, there could be whales coming in to scoop up DEC, which might push it up past its peg value again. But I would say at this point in time, if you are trying to back DEC with your products, then it's definitely worth looking at adding it now, even though we're still 2+ months away or 2.5 months away from the end of the airdrop.
Yeah. And if you ask me, right, like I would think that the algo for the printing of DEC should be amended.
Ooh. All right.
I
Well,
mean,
that's a controversial topic, but get into it, please.
I feel that like it doesn't make sense to me that the DEC that is printed on a daily basis is determined based on the price, such that at the end of the day, if you have more and more players coming in, the pool of DEC that is printed will remain the same. For example, if price stays at 0.001, right? The cake is the same size every day, but everyone get a smaller slice of the cake, which you have mentioned in some of your videos before.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that when more people join the game, there is less incentive to play because the earnings get lesser and lesser and lesser and gets negligible over time. So that is not healthy for growth. So if you want growth, the pie has to grow in line and in tandem with the number of new players that are in. Let's drop bots out of this equation first.
Sure.
So more players, the pie should get bigger. Everyone gets the same slice of cake. on a daily basis, you get the same amount of DEC regardless of how many players are joining the game. You should earn your earnings should not be affected when new players are joined, because then why would I want new players to join? It affects me, right? So
I don't want to share my cake.
yeah, right. No one wants to share. So if more people join, the supply of DC being printed increases on a daily basis. What it means is that to sustain the price of DEC would then have to be supported by products from or in the game. So you need to have a burning mechanism for people to spend. So don't think about earning money first. Think about, I earn DEC because I want to spend the DEC in the game. I want to buy assets in the game, just like you play any other game, like Maple Story that you play, or even like RuneScape, right? You don't think about cashing out first. You think about buying in-game items to improve your game, to level up your heroes, level up your characters, level up your cards. There needs to be somewhere to spend. If there is an avenue to spend, then the price would automatically be maintained or even go up, because for example, if tomorrow they release a promo card for 10,000 DEC, how many of you are just going to spend 10,000 DEC to get a promo card? You would, right? You will buy because you want the asset in the game. You wouldn't think of the dollar value of the DEC because what you want is the asset in game. But because right now there is no avenue to spend the DEC, which led to huge accumulation of DEC because of the airdrop, that people wants to hold on to DEC, the focus is on price of DEC to keep the pack. But if I were to talk to Matt, then this is something that I would share out loud, that you need to break the entire logic. DEC gonna print at the same rate as number of players playing or number of battles. And then what the game needs is avenues for people to spend the DEC. So number one is the airdrop got to go, right? The airdrop got to go. So nobody wants to hold
that is
DECs.
going, but yeah.
And then avenues to spend, spend on brawl, spend on, upgrading your guild, spending on buying packs, spending on promo cards in the game, spending on potions. You need avenue in the game because that is the product the company is designing or selling. You need people to spend. If you can get people to spend the DEC will naturally rise, which means everyone in the game, as you play more, you earn more. At the same time, you don't have to bother about the supply of DEC because everyone gets the same slice of cake. No one is going to feel unhappy. So that's the problem now, is there's not enough products in the game for DEC to be spent. And people just think of liquidating DEC, which should not happen, should not be happening. Yeah.
Well, so something that I've been toying with for like months at this point, but I really feel I wouldn't be surprised if the team went down this route, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost a lot of the player base due to it. Is what if there's no cake anymore? What if your cake comes in the form of rewards cards? Because I like you're saying, like I remember making a video about this a while back where I was just like, wait, so at its peg, you have $1,000 of value, US dollars, printed every single day, right? Now, when the player base was 3,000, everybody got a nice big slice of that. If the player base goes to 300,000, or you have 400,000 daily active users, those slices get really tiny. So how do you fix that problem? And the thing is, with this upcoming ranked rewards, again, which I have to say that I have no inside information outside of whatever you guys see on the town halls. My thought process is, well, what if they removed DEC rewards from ranked battles? Like, how many people would be so upset with that? And at the same time, how many people would, I don't know, like what would that do to the economy? Now, they can't do that necessarily because that's how DEC comes into the system, right? But just from a player's standpoint, if the rewards for playing the game are going to be earning more cards, like the focus is on earning more rewards
Mhm.
cards, you know what I mean, rather
Yeah.
than, so I don't know, that's just where I see things going in the future. At the end of the day, if they're successful at keeping it at the peg, then it's $1,000 worth of DEC coming into the system every single day. And the idea is that you find some kind of equilibrium where that $1,000 is getting burned up either in guilds, in the future in land, in other areas of the game like potions, whatever. And so it'll stay at that peg no matter what. And therefore, the real focus is then on players playing the game to earn rewards cards, and DEC just being the stable transaction coin that you use, right? So
Mhm.
if I want to sell a card, I'm going to sell it for $1, which means I'm going to get 1,000 DEC. And I know that 1,000 DEC is always going to be $1. So therefore, I can go hold it if I want to, wait
Yeah.
until there's a sale on another card that I want, and then go buy that card, right? So that's how I see things playing out in the future. I don't know that people will be really happy about it, and I don't know that it's the perfect solution, but
It's very right.
but that's what I'm saying. Like I'm totally on board, and I totally understand where you're coming from, Godzilla, about the smaller cake slices, because that's something I've been worried about for a while. But the unknowns that we are aware of at this point in time are what the rewards rework are going to do. And if the rewards rework are going to bring us more cards, like more chances to earn cards the more you play, plus just more cards entering into the ecosystem with the new rewards cards and all that, then I wonder if cards are the value. And I will say, just like, from the beginning, a single card, a single type of card, like a Jin O'Shaughnessy or Yodin, a single card is deflationary, but cards as an asset class are incredibly inflationary. You're going to be getting
Yes.
tons of them printed every single day, every single year.
Yep. Um. Yes. I agree with what you just said, and it's very in line with what I just shared. Like what you
Mm-hmm.
say about what if rewards are just cuts, right? That is exactly. But it's very hard to just give cuts because not everyone wants that cut that is being forced to them, right? So to have more flexibility, yes, they can have more DC, they can still give out DC for rank battles, but the cake cannot shrink. Once it shrinks, it impedes growth in the game. So that's one factor that needs to be solved for growth point of view. And if they continue to just give DEC and there's no cap on, let's say there's no pie, the pie is infinite, right? It
Mm-hmm.
is dependent on how many people play, how many people battle. Then supply is unlimited. Then there needs to be a burning mechanism to keep it in check. So your burning mechanism will be like guilds, buying packs, spending on potions on the daily basis. And the team can use the price of DEC as like a floating a floating rate. Sometimes it's like 80 cents,
Sure.
90
Yeah.
cents.
Softback. Yeah.
And when things get too low, they can, you know, come in with events to push the price up naturally. For example, if the price of DEC is going down 70 cents, 60 cents, that is when I will launch a promo card, for example, or event in the game where forces people to spend DEC only.
Mm-hmm.
So it acts like a natural event where people have to buy up DEC or spend DEC, which will bring the price of DEC back up. And in exchange, you get a product, something you buy in the game, in the Splinterlands ecosystem. And if people do not want to buy product in the game and it allows the currency to free fall, it means the game has failed its role of being a game.
Yeah.
So it is going to be difficult, but that's how I see a sustainable game play to earn has to be in the future, for growth sake. And uh you know right now, game, you has to sell in-game items, you need to sell things in the game, but
Yeah.
we are currently not doing that
Nope.
enough, like sufficiently. So I hope there needs still work to be done. So Um,
There's a lot. I mean, this is a terrible time to be trying to navigate through like right now. SPS was at $1 and it's at 6 cents right now. So it's down 94% on the year. Mitchell is in the house. What's going on, Mitchell? Dominic, I think the problem in SPL is that there's too much stuff. They're adding more rewards cards, and this is no good. I agree, man. I mean, I'm not like here's the thing. I want the cards as a player because it's exciting to the game meta. But what's it going to do to the card economy? I can't say that it's going to make things, better, because now the demand for the cards that I own already is going to go down, because if the number of players stays the same and there's more cards for people to buy, then that demand kind of gets spread around between. All right, so I would say, in my opinion, if you were able to buy packs with DEC, this means DEC will never hit 1 cent. I think you mean the peg, right? Which means packs will only be bought when DEC is less than 1 cent. Here's the thing: I think packs will always be bought if there's a demand from new players coming in wanting to buy packs. And right now there just isn't, right? So what's going to happen if DEC falls and stays below its peg is that there's going to be an inflated demand, because a lot of people are going to come in and see, well, I can buy a pack for cheaper, but it's not necessarily that I want the pack or need the pack.
Yep. I think to Ahmed's question, right? If you are able to buy DEC with packs at 4,000, it provides support, but it doesn't mean it is a ceiling. Because if DEC is more than 0.1 or 0.001, then you would convert your DEC to credits and then buy the packs using credits. And so that's the difficult part to comprehend. By adding support doesn't mean it's a ceiling, although it could, but it doesn't mean, because if you have more in-game items that are being bought that has to be spent, you bought using DEC only, it could push up prices of DEC to be above 0.001, but it's not naturally a bad thing for the game as well.
Hey, I just want to, some breaking news. Yabamet just posted that they're going to implement the 1,000 to $1 peg. So
Really?
this is going to be live next Tuesday, guys. So in 5 days.
Hey, Matt, you there?
So thanks, Matt. Yeah, he's in the next room, guys. So
he's just beside me, Matt. Like I just heard it like there.
That's so crazy. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just felt like that was something we should share as soon as it became available.
Yep. Yeah. There are things. Hopefully, if I have a chance to ever speak with Matt, I hope I'll be given the chance.
Well, not that this channel is any has any kind of like clout, but I think it'd be good, and you can do it here, or we can like do a separate session if you wanted to like do at some point like an open letter to the Splinterlands team where we can talk about like some of the changes that we think would be good. And again, I don't want to do this with anyone, but I think you and I have a lot of the same or similar visions for the future, and obviously we're both very passionate about the game and want it to succeed. So I think it's just an exchange of ideas where it's like, who knows
what's best? What's best for the ecosystem? Yeah. Yep. All hopefully, right, I think that would be fun.
So, well, actually, I mean, I know we're like meta talking about this right now, but if you wanted to like ever like organize that, and then we could like record a specific video, I'm totally down. And then we'll see if we can get somebody to listen to it.
Yep.
All right. So it's saying you can buy potions with DEC. Yep. I just put out the quest potions thing this morning. That might be worth it soon. So Dominic's saying, I can imagine rewards cards, more packs being open, Rift Watchers. It is a lot. There's going to be a lot of cards in the ecosystem, and I don't know that we're going to get the players to scoop them up. Hopefully we'll get the bots to scoop them up, though.
Yep.
Sphere Shake's in the house. What's going on? Is it time to cry? It depends. Are you chopping onions? Because for many folks, they're looking at this as a time for opportunity. Fun for all. Modern WoW will help maintain the value for cards, since only certain sets can be played in Modern. So as more sets come out, I don't know that I agree with that. I'll have to think more about whether or not Modern WoW will be a value proposition. I think Modern WoW will just make it more appealing for new players to come in and feel like they can be competitive. But I don't know what that necessarily does to card values.
I feel that the community is currently might be misinformed on the impact of modern and WoW.
Yeah.
Yeah, something we need to touch on. I think yeah,
We've been
it's
so
it's
starved for updates that people think any update is going to save the game, and
yeah,
it's
it's
not,
weird.
right? Like I love the
Yeah.
game, but none of these updates, not even the ranked rewards, is going to save asset prices. People are like, oh my god, SP is going to go up after ranked rewards. I'm just like, ranked rewards have nothing to do with SPS,
Yeah.
right?
It's
So
very weird that every action that the team comes in is to save as the asset prices of current players. It's such a bad way of thinking that I
mhm,
really don't understand. Yeah, a lot of players have this misconception that, oh, you gotta do this so that the aim is not about pricing. If you're looking at price, then it's so wrong. Everything is wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
yeah.
right, let me catch up with some of the comments here, and then we'll jump into another deep dive. Because otherwise, you and I can get lost in these conversations, Godzilla. That's why I love it, man. All right, so Jonathan's in the house. What's going on? I see Vilson's here. Vilson, what's happening? Ghostly BG's in the house. Harris is here. Willa D's in the house. All right, cool. We got a bunch of. Someone said, "Do you think we'll see one Luna equals one DEC?"
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, Matt. Okay, so I know that this is like so incredibly dangerous, but like seeing Luna at 1 cent kind of makes me like want to just throw a couple bucks at it. Not because I believe in it ever going back up to like $100, at least not like in the next year or two, but it's just like, the whole like buy when the streets are bloody or whatever. And
Yeah.
so again, it just has to do with how much confidence do you have in a project or founder. But here's the thing: somebody even mentioned earlier. Oh, Dom, and this is not a shot at like the NFTs that you bought, but it's just like you could have as much confidence as you want in. People had a ton of confidence in Do Kwon, in Terraform Labs, like the whole Terra and Luna ecosystem. But what they didn't have confidence in, or what they weren't seeing, was somebody else willing to throw down $1 billion worth of value to tank the
Yep.
entire system and then do it effectively. So,
Yep. And if you talk about NFT, you can just go and look at ApeCoin. You look at how ApeCoin has fallen, and it's
yeah.
just because of so much misinformation or insufficient information that the community or retail investors like you and me have insufficient information to price such tokens or assets accurately
hmm
that might cause retail investors to lose money. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's not right. To, I feel that the the developers shouldn't be doing that. Like, yes.
Godzilla, you're getting a shout out here. Singapore shout out from Will of D saying that you should organize a tournament there.
Oh. Okay. Yes, I should. I should. I think I saw him on the previous stream. Like,
Maybe.
yeah.
How is the community there? Have you actually had a chance to connect with anyone?
Um, Not many. Like, other than my friends, like real life friends,
Sure, yeah.
maybe less than 5 that reach out to me on like Discord. So, um, yeah, I hope more and more people reach out. I think it's just that not many are like chatting. We are not chatting, or we don't have like a community group that's created right now. But I feel that I should lead it. Yeah, maybe very near future.
Yeah, no, definitely. So Shopboy's in the house. Matthew's telling us to look at the official announcement. Matthew, you're late. We broke this as soon as it dropped, man. But the official announcement is here now, so you guys can take a look at it. Yeah. So the thing is, Splinterlands is still a very digital world to me, but they announced that Splinterfest is happening here in the U.S., so I'm hoping to be able to go to that and actually meet some folks. And the thing is, I feel as though I'm starting to connect with a lot of other people who are like in Texas or the Texas area. So hopefully there'll be more opportunities for in-person meetups and tournaments, because I feel like that could go a long way towards getting casual people in, right? It's one thing to like come across an ad or see like an influencers or YouTubers like videos on something, but it's just like if you're out and about and you see like real people like playing this stuff, and if there's like tournaments and things like that, then like, you know, it's not going to appeal to everybody, but people who are into certain types of trading card games might jump in. Vilson wants to throw in 10 to 15 bucks. I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm not gonna I still own some Luna, so I'm just gonna hang on to that for now and see what happens. But could be something. All right. So I'm saying this question for you after sound: what will you do with the 512 packs you have if they allow players to buy packs with DEC? So I've been with the packs that I own. I mean, I'm literally just sitting on those until packs sell out. So I have zero desire to open them. I have zero desire to do anything with them. That to me was an investment I made for long term. So hopefully when Chaos Legion sells out in the next 6, 12, 18 months, however long it ends up taking, those packs will be more than the $4 that I put in to buy them. And if the card values start to go up too, then there might be an incentive to start opening, or maybe open once some of the legendary summoners are out. But I actually have zero desire to open any of them at this point in time. So that was just a long-term play on it. All right, so shop. Oh, there's a lot of other questions here. Oh, Godziel's in the chat too. So Antonio, congrats again on winning, Antonio, and Will of D. There is a move from devs to stop bots. Without bots, DEC would go to the moon.
Yeah, I've replied him at the bottom.
Okay. Behind every bot is a human. Bots are just a tool. What is incentives botting is the problem. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing with bots. And I haven't fully figured out my thoughts on this, but maybe this will be a good opportunity to bring it up, because the thing is, I'm bot neutral, but one of the arguments that I hear from bot defenders is that that I disagree with is that bots act just like humans, right? They're just like tireless humans working away. That's obviously not the case, but the main reason I say that is because when a bot plays the game, they're not holding like the assets that they acquire in the game. They are not leveling up their own decks. You know what I mean? So plus on top of that, if a bot owner has or bot farmer has 10,000 bots, that's only one person's income coming into the game. The bot essentially has no desire to put more money into the game to have a better game experience, right? The bot is there to extract value. So I agree that is the behavior that bots have. Now, the thing is, how much of an economic impact is that? And the better question, which I think a lot of people tend to avoid, is does that make the situation better for the people that are here now? Right. One of the things that I kept getting into with Darkest Night is whether or not you like bots or not, this is the cheapest we've ever seen cards. It's kind of crazy. So if you believe in the long-term, value of the game, why wouldn't you be going out and maxing out a ton of cards? But curious to get your thoughts on at least a little bit deeper thought on bots.
I would split botting into mass botting and just botting. To me, botting alone is not an issue. If I want to own a bot to run my account, that's on me to decide. Mass botting is a behavior that affects the economy as well as it affects the greater community of players. So you have to, I think I said this before, you have to analyze such things in terms of the scale and impact it does to yourself as well as the community. So if I were to bot on my own account, what's the impact? The impact is nothing, because if I were to play the account by myself, it's exactly what would just happen, right?
Yeah.
It's a 1-for-1 replacement. But mass botting affects not just myself, it affects everyone else, because number one, it affects the gameplay because people plays against masses of bots. Secondly, it affects how the DEC being distributed right now. And to me, actually, mass botting is just because mass botting happens because there's something that incentivizes botting because there is substantial rewards to be earned. That's why botting happens, right? Mass botting happens. And if there is no substantial rewards in mass botting, then why would you bother? Just let them bot lah, just let them bot,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not going to affect you. Just let them bot. It's not going to affect you. So what people are angry about is not really like really mass botting is, but people also think about, you know, what should be theirs, which is like the DC rewards, what should be theirs is now, being exploited or taken away by bots. If you think like that, then that's not really the problem because, you know, when new players come in the game, are you trying to say that then you don't want new players to come in the game, right? Because more players means less rewards for you as well, right? Then you don't want more players. So the problem here is just the problem that I have with mass voting is that uh the game is in a situation where players do not have to invest into the game to start playing and earning rewards. And from day one, Matt has already said that is the problem. Botting is not the problem, which I agree with Matt, because if a whale wants to come in and splash $1 million to have 10 bots or 20 bots or 50 bots, it's good for the economy, right? It's good for the ecosystem. It's good
Mm-hmm.
for people who own cards now. Why should I stop him? I should be, receiving him with open arms. I don't care if he plays the account himself, or he hires 10 scholars to play the account, or he gets a bot to play the accounts. It doesn't matter. But that, putting tournaments aside, when tournaments are in play, then there is a bit of, sportsmanship, moral comes into play. So that's another total different topic, which I will not put it as one altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the team incentivizes asset ownership, then this problem of mass botting should go away on its own. And if it doesn't, then it's not going to affect anyone. It's not going to affect you. You'll just probably see them in battles, which may affect the gameplay experience to a certain extent. But at the same time, every other game has bots. If you play PUBG, Rule of Survival, you play, games, shooting games, first player game, probably maybe half of the players at the beginning when you just started are all bots, right? To help you get accustomed to the game, to
Yeah.
learn. If imagine you just play a game and then the first player comes in and shoot you and you die, you will not enjoy the game. You'll just quit the game and it's like, this is too difficult for me. I'm out of here, right?
Yeah.
So bots has its purpose as well. So if you're talking about ownership, once ownership comes in, promote ownership, then that's the right direction to go. Then this problem of mass botting should, untangle itself. You should get less common. People who don't find it profitable will stop running bots. Then the ecosystem will, it will fix itself. The market will fix itself. So that's what Matt is doing, and I'm fully supportive of that because I think that is the way to go. You don't have to fix bots. Let them bot.
Yeah. Well, the big thing that I think you said, and I'll just piggyback on, is if somebody wants to come in with, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to spend on the game, and for them to look at the ecosystem and the landscape and say, I need to, in order to get the most value out of the money that I'm spending, I should set up 10,000 accounts versus taking that, $100,000 and buying a bunch of SPS, a bunch of cards, and a bunch of whatever to play at champion. The incentives are wrong, right? So the hope is that anybody who comes in with massive amounts of money in the future will not look at this and say, hey, it's better for me to like play 10,000 accounts in bronze and instead when they come in say, hey, it's better for me to play, even with all this money that I'm bringing in, it's better for me to play at champion because the rewards are so freaking crazy at champion, you know what I mean? Or diamond or champion, whatever it is. So hopefully with the rewards rework, they can get to that level or that mindset for people to have that are coming into the game or people who are in the game now. All right, let's catch up on some of the other chat here. Shopboy, if I wanted to buy SPFs and cards, what would be the best way to do it? I want to take advantage of the market prices, but I can't buy credits with PayPal because of a bug they haven't fixed yet. And I mean, starting with fiat currency. I mean, best way to do it if you have any kind of exchange account, so Coinbase, whatever. I think the best or easiest way right now is just to buy Litecoin and then send it into Hive Engine. And so you can do that, and then you'll have some. You can just convert the Litecoin in here into DEC or SPS, whatever you need after that. Vilson, never owned, but seemed like a nice time. I think. Are you talking about Luna still? Let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm really behind on chat. So let's just catch up on the chat, and then we'll jump back in. So Jonathan Glazer, exactly what you said, Shopboy. I've been having issue with adding liquidity easily. Man, I wish I could set up. I don't know how to do it, but like I wish I could set up. And I don't even know if it's illegal, but like a business where like you could set up like an on ramp for people. You know what I mean?
Because it's just like you transfer me fiat and I transfer you
like
DEC or SPS
because like I already have I have the on ramp. Like I have a Binance account and I have a Coinbase account. So it's just like if somebody were to transfer me something and they like just transferred it like Venmo, Zelle, whatever through, you know what I mean? Like for the government, for the IRS, I am not doing this right now. So I'm just saying that I wish maybe I should look into it. But here's the problem. Then the last thing that I would want is somebody complaining about something, and then that's just a stain on your reputation. So it's just like there's going to be fees involved, right? So everything would have to be clear cut. So you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. But I just wish there was an easier way for people to add liquidity. Here's the thing. For those of you trying to add liquidity, if you have a friend, right? It doesn't need to be you, but if you have a friend or someone that you trust to, get their hands on Litecoin, because I think Litecoin is going to be the easiest one. So just make sure whatever amount you're sending them, you understand what fees are going to be involved, because there's going to be a fee to buy the coin. There's going to be a fee to withdraw the coin from the exchange, as well as a fee to deposit the coin into Hive Engine. So that stuff will add up. It'll probably be a couple of percent. As long as you're aware of that and you trust the person, and once you see the value come into Hive Engine, then you're good to go, because then it's yours and you're all set.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think I'll share another way. Like how I do it is like I use FTX and Binance previously. What I buy BNB. I transfer BNB into MetaMask. And from MetaMask, you do a swap to DEC or SPS, and then you deposit it into your Splinterlands account directly. So that's another way.
And that's using the Binance Smart Chain, so kind of like one of the Ethereum competitors, which has very low fees. So that's definitely an option. I just know a lot of people don't have access to Binance, and sometimes Binance can take a while. So, but if you have either of those, I think you'll be good to go. And in fact, to Godziel's point, that's how I have traditionally brought assets in, is through the Binance Smart Chain.
Binance Smart Chain. It's fast and the fees are low. So if you can try that method. But
there's and you don't even need to have a Binance account. You can look at some of the other like exchanges on there, which are
FTX allows you can buy
FTX
BNB on FTX.
There you go.
Yeah.
FTX, I think KuCoin has it. So as long as you can find a way onto the Binance Smart Chain, you could essentially swap any coin for any coin, and you'll be able to find the DEC SPS versions on there.
You just have to deposit it into MetaMask because it's on the Binance Smart Chain. You don't really have to deal with Binance specifically, right? You can bypass.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the ways that I will do, which I literally just did last night, is one of the biggest decentralized exchanges on the Binance Smart Chain is PancakeSwap.
So
that's actually what I use. I use that protocol to swap whatever like BNB I have into DEC or SPS. Now the thing is, PancakeSwap also has its own token, the Cake token. So on what's that called? On KuCoin, which is one of the exchanges that I've used in the past, I will buy Cake from there and then withdraw that, because that's on the Binance Smart Chain. But it's like whatever token you can get that's on the Binance Smart Chain, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also, want to low key sell packs to use that money to buy some other things. Wilson, I mean, packs are low right now. Oh, Lordo's in the house. What's going on, Lordo? Getting ready for that road trip. Amelo's in the house. What's going on, Amelo? So Dominic saying ApeCoin dropped because all market crush. The value of Ape is determined by the fact that it is the #1 NFT project in the world. People like it. Yeah, but you know what? At this point in time, here's the thing, Dominic. At this point in time, everything is just speculation about ApeCoin, right? But the fact is, like, everything is speculation about everything in the crypto markets. I think the only thing that has like a true proven utility is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin still gets crushed, right? So, and even still, I will still look at Bitcoin, and as much like faith as I have in Bitcoin, it's still speculative to me. So I would agree with you in the sense that the people behind ApeCoin probably have some really cool ideas and the funding and the partnerships to be able to pull off something awesome. So, you know, it's I don't think that it's a bad project. I just haven't thrown any money at it. The only good thing about bots is it makes me feel good when I beat one. Oh man, I love crushing bots too, and I love like calling their bluffs or calling like whatever they're gonna do, and then just watching them fall. All right, so Yabamet just announced on Discord that they're planning to re-enable. Yep. We were just talking about that. Breaking news. So Harris, all right, like it or not, bot does help out churn cards, especially rewards cards. Without bots, we'd probably be. Look, here's the thing with this is what we're trying to say. Like, if you're looking to get cheap cards, now is the time. Because keep in mind, the cards are cheap, but they aren't infinite. Like, they won't last forever. So,
You know, like something about reward cards, like I kind of preferred if the print rate for reward cards weren't that high. I feel that there should be a timing tag to the reward cards. Like after a certain month, when the next batch of reward comes in, then the previous set should be, sort of, put to an end, such that it makes those cards a little bit more limited. And like, if you want it, it's now. So there will be like some sort of time sensitivity to it where people like, okay, now is the time I need to play to get, because it's not forever. But if people get the idea that, okay, it will only end when it's fully printed, right? Then people, there's no urgency to get the card now. So I prefer it to be a bit more like whichever comes first, time, like 6 months, a year, or print rate. Like
I think you got that one on the head. I think there needs to still be a print rate limit. Otherwise, bots could come in and potentially, or accounts could come in and potentially exploit it. But you're not the first person to mention that. Like somebody was saying, like, what if they just added like new rewards cards every 3 months, right, or every 6 seasons? So essentially, like, you play for 6 seasons and you try to like level up as many of these rewards cards as you can, and then they're essentially gone. They go out of print. And if you hit the whatever number that you need to hit, then that's great. But if not, then it is what it is. So I think that could be something if it's given like careful thought to make sure there's no exploits that you or I are missing right now. I think that's something that could definitely be thrown in, and maybe it's just like an additional thing, right? Like if they just start with like one reward card, like so they still have whatever being printed, but then like imagine if there's 29 rewards cards right now. And there's going to be like another 12. But imagine like one out of those like 40 plus rewards cards. What if one of them was only going to be available between now and like the end of the year, for example? Yep. And the drop rate is so low and it's a legendary card, right? So the drop rate is so low, like that would make things interesting, because it's just like, can you imagine? First of all, there'd be so much like content, because people, whenever they like open one of their daily quests, they'll be like, oh my God, I got one of the things, right? What do I do? Do I sell it now because the price is going to be high from the beginning? Or do I,
and you want to play more? You want to play more because you want to open more chests to get that one card.
We need to do this open letter, man.
Yeah, this is what drives the game, like interest in the game, what people want to play. It's not SPS hitting 10 cents, 20 cents. That doesn't drive players to the game. Like, you need people to play the game for what it is, because the coins are only as good as the product, which is the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something that this is something that could almost be part of like the promotions that they do, right? Like, I know they do their promo cards, but it could almost be like there's like these promo rewards cards in a sense, and they like do these partnerships, because like those cards would retain their value and people would definitely want to like get in on it.
Yeah, and it's not as simple as you have money now, you can get it. In this,
Yeah.
people get a bit of a feeling of a fair play where, I have a fair chance even if I'm in silver. But if I want a bigger chance, I buy in the game even more.
Hmm.
Yeah. So these are things that needs to come.
Yeah. I mean, any kind of thing that adds freshness to the game, because the game has gotten so stale, right? And like it's still addictive, and every like actual individual battle is different, but it's
Mhm.
gotten so stale in the sense that like we've been waiting for Modern and Wild for a while. We've been waiting for rank rewards. Nothing has really changed from like a game perspective, right? Like the actual individual games, like the rule sets, there's nothing there. The last thing that happened was at the beginning of the year when Chaos Legion came out and the meta
Mhm.
changed, the starter cards changed. But if there was something that happened, even like as infrequent as every 3 months, there's just like a new rewards cards people can play towards or whatever. Like that would bring in the players who are just like, ooh, like this looks good. Like, I've been taking the last couple of months off, but there's a new rewards card coming out. I want it, right? So I'm gonna go and try to play the
Yes.
game to get it. So that could definitely go a long way. All right. So Jonathan's saying there's a difference between a bot extracting value versus one to introduce players to gameplay. I very much agree with that. I feel the team should introduce a solo player starting tutorial. I hope that they have some kind of PVE in the future. The thing is, PVE. The problem with PVE is there can be no rewards with that, because if it's just like somebody coming in and playing against the computer and then winning, like I don't know, like if the prize is too high, then that's just gonna bring in more bots. I don't know. That's just my thought on it. Wilson went and bought $15 of Luna. All right, good luck. I hope you get rich.
Yeah.
Let's see here. How are you doing on time, Godzilla? I know it's late for you.
Yeah. No, I'm good on time.
You good? Okay,
I'm
cool.
okay. Yeah.
Just checking in. If that ever changes, just let me know. We can start to wrap
Sure.
things up. So I'm saying Transact in game is easier. Then the only thing is I don't know if everybody has access to Transact, and especially people in the US. The US sucks with all kinds of like weird regulation.
Yeah, they kind of banned some of the credit card numbers and stuff. Like, I don't think I can use it here in Singapore as well. So, yeah, it's not
Oh
very
really?
clear like where it can be, where like which territories are allowed, which are not. So, that's the onboarding part that needs to be a bit smoother, frictionless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Justin's in the house. Justin, Action, if there's a card only monster you want to nerf, what will it be? Oh, it's because you knew which summoner I would nerf. If there was a card that I wanted to nerf, I don't know, Godzilla, do you have like an off the cuff answer for this? Like, is there a card that you think is broken outside of Kron?
No, Kron is not broken. I don't think I've lost to Kron for the past month or so. Like, Kron is food now. If I've named a card that's broken, I think Dr. Blight is broken.
Don't say that. That's the only good card I have. Dr. Blight is the only reason I have like any kind of rating in gold.
And Dr. Blight is broken. So yeah, I'm very tempted to buy one. Like
Wait, do you not have a Dr. Blight?
no, I've been renting all the way.
Oh, you gotta get at least a gold level one, because gold is where he's broken.
I need some sponsors. Anyone want to sponsor me?
Anyone sponsor? We'll start a Godziel Dr. Blight fund.
Yeah, fund me, Dr. Blight.
Hey, what's
Fund
the
me.
price now though? Has it gone down like
Um,
some of the others?
a single BCX is like 70, but the higher BCX are like 57.
Oh, it's down to 64 now. Look at that. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's been
Crazy,
bought.
crazy.
So I think I will buy one. Oh, what I want is a level 3. Like I need a level
Yeah.
3.
Well, the
So
cheapest
6
level 3 is
BCX.
$415. Yeah, I mean, look, that's like rent for some people.
Yeah. Anyone want to sell me one at 50 per BCX?
50
Hit
per
me up,
BCX.
right? DM me. Give me a discount.
I think if you wait long enough, we may see that end up happening. So
Yeah. This the OP cut, I think. Very
Yeah.
strong.
Justin, I don't know, man. In terms of like a broken card, I don't know that there's like one that I.
And that's a good thing. The thing is, if you can't name one, it means the game is balanced.
Yeah, I like. So now I'm just getting like vindictive. Now I'm probably just gonna call it Silver Shield Assassin because I hate that card. Not that it's broken, but I just hate it. So I'm gonna
It's
say
strong.
Silver Shield Assassin. I don't think that it should be nerfed. I think all copies should be burned. So
It's
that's
like it's Loner Shine plus Silver Shield Assassin
I
equals
hate going up against that team so much.
yeah. It's I think it's like the most rented deck out there.
Yeah.
Like live, it's really cheap to rent, but it's so strong, and you see it in Go all the time.
Well,
It's a
so
go to.
we were talking about bots because I don't know if like I'm assuming it was probably some kind of bot account playing this where it's just like you look and it's just like this is the same team, the sneak attack team that they've been playing for the last 5
Yes.
games. And then I
Yeah.
come in and the only way that I can beat it, even though I'm playing in silver or gold, is I have a level 1 Mylar. And all I do is I play the level 1 Mylar and then I stack a bunch of fat monsters at the
Yeah,
back of my
just
thing. And
HP.
I just watch them all kill themselves attacking me. So
Yeah.
that's when it gets satisfying when like you call the bots bluff or you can like
Yeah.
plan accordingly for them. It just makes me happy. Like, I'm not even streaming. I'm just sitting here by myself in the room and I just start giggling because it's just so fun to watch them kill themselves. All right. Lowest is 56.82 per BCX right now. That's according to Orlordo. Jabi bought me a land plot. Congratulations. Welcome to the Landlords Club.
Yes, congratulations. It's a good time to buy, I would say. Like buy one and hold, enjoy the game.
Bought one. Ooh, Orlando City bought one at 51 per BCX yesterday. So you might find a good deal there.
Yeah, but it's a max out copy.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're looking just for level 3.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? That's gonna be like $300, right?
Yeah, I need some corporate sponsors.
Okay, I was actually gonna buy 300 of Luna last night, and I had issues. Around 20 minutes later, it would have been 500. Yeah, man. Well, the whole Luna thing, it's incredibly volatile right now. So I would just be careful. I mean, look, here's the deal. Like I sold out of my UST position last night. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I sold out of my UST position. Oh my gosh, it's equal to 1 Luna. That's incredible.
DC is higher.
DC is higher.
And UST is the price of what? SPS?
Oh man, let's actually go and see where UST is. Oh, yep. Oh man, I'm so glad. I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just wait until the morning, or maybe I'm just gonna ride this thing out. But it hit like 67 or 70 cents. And
if Luna dies, UST is gonna die. It's naturally it's sooner or later. Like it's just gonna happen.
I mean, look at this. It's crazy. It's just crazy to watch a top 10 coin. Actually, 2 top 20 coins, right? Because UST is the same, like up there too. But it's crazy to watch a coin or a project this like magnitude die in real time. Like I heard about
like a Lehman Brothers crashing.
Yeah, like I heard about the BitConnect stuff a while back, but I wasn't like really paying attention when that happened. I wasn't around when like the whole Mt. Gox like situation happened in 2013. But like I feel like people are gonna look back at this and be like, "Whoa, you remember Terra Luna and what happened? It went from $100 to less than a penny in 4 days."
Mm-hmm.
That's insanity. All right, so
RIP
in the house. Oh, RIP. Oh yeah, RIP. All right, so Justin saying in Diamond Champ, Dr. Blight is kind of weak. Do you play in Diamond, Godziel?
No, I play in gold.
You're in gold? Okay. Same. So I can't really speak to whether or not he's good there.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, I need to get a land plot, but I don't want to gamble so much on a rarity. So I'm wondering if common plots will be cheaper when released. They may be, guys. I'm not bullish on land. I know. I'm not I'm not very bullish on land from like an investment standpoint. I'm bullish on land as a player and I love it, but land has
Yeah,
already gone up 10 to 20x. So, a lot of the gains have been made. So just be
yeah,
careful. That's all.
yeah.
I hope I'm
I'm
wrong,
buying.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
don't think land of as an investment at this point in time
yeah,
because there's insufficient information to
hmm
make that call. But
exactly.
I would say it's okay to buy because you want to partake and participate in the game. Just take it as you're just buying to play the game. Like don't think
Exactly.
will I lose money because think about it. You're not gonna sell it. You're just buying it to play the game.
Yeah.
Then it's
I mean,
okay to buy. Yeah.
I bought my first land plot at 500. I bought my second one at 400. And I will tell you right now, sure, I'm battle hardened from like crypto losses in the past, but like I just don't care because I'm never gonna
Yeah.
sell it. You know what I mean? Like
Same.
the land that I have, I can't wait to play with it. So therefore, if I buy something that I know that I'm going to use, and this gets back to the whole thing about NFTs too, right? And cards, it's just like if you buy something that you're going to use that has utility or value to you, then you don't care what the price ends up being in the future. Like, of course, I want lands to be worth millions of dollars, but I also don't care as long as it's like a cool thing in the game that I can use and have fun with. Then land could go to $50, and I wouldn't be bothered about it because I'm never going to be looking to sell it. I'll only be looking to
Yes.
sell it if it goes to like $500,000. Then I'll be like, all right,
Yeah.
well, maybe I'll actually buy a real plot of land with this money. Vilson, I have not had a chance to check out Steppen because I cannot get an activation code. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully that'll happen at some point. Icy Flows in the house. Let's go. Harris. Oh, Harris, if you don't know what's going on with Terra Luna, I would suggest steering clear. Don't go anywhere near it right now. I feel UST needs to hit the peg ASAP for any hope of Luna to coming back.
Nope.
I don't know that
It's
it
not
needs to hit
gonna
it now,
happen.
but I think the longer it goes, there's going to be a much larger loss of trust in the system. But again, that doesn't mean it can't recover. But
Yeah.
damn, below a
You need
penny, that's
you need an
crazy.
angel investor to pour like what $10 billion and
It's nuts.
buy up UST up to the peg. Even so,
I mean,
would
they're just
people
setting
still
themselves up.
believe in Luna?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. So they need a bailout, like a huge bailout, fast, and that was yesterday. But
But
it's
who would want to bail them out? Because here's the problem: the exploit still exists.
yep,
You know what I mean? So it's just like somebody
yes,
could come in and try to save them, but I don't. That's why, in my opinion, nobody's coming in to
yep,
try to save them because it's just like, well, as soon as you get it back to its peg, you've only saved UST. You have not saved Luna. So unless there's like some really nice rich billionaire that wants to come in and like help beat everybody
Well,
else's exit liquidity,
the solution is the exact opposite of how it crashed. You buy in and you long every position in Luna and UST.
mm, yeah,
Yeah, but it will mean you need a hell lot of capital to do that. Which,
yeah.
if it happened yesterday, which was what the Bitcoin reserve was supposed to do, to defend
hmm
against that is you buy, but you have to long at the same time so that those who short loses money and get out of that short position. But it
But
was too
it's interesting that
late.
like you essentially have to be bearish Bitcoin in order to save the project. But going bearish Bitcoin would bring down the rest of the market.
Yeah, that means you have to. Yeah, that's the thing because it was Bitcoin. It was if it was US dollars, they could immediately um, buy up all the short position, long it and
Yeah.
push it back up. That would kill off panic very quickly.
But
Yeah,
nobody would have invested in it because the whole idea was they wanted it to be like a decentralized algorithmic stablecoin. So if you back
yeah,
it with
and this is what
USD,
happens when it's being backed by other crypto coins. Actually, because of this, I just want to touch on SPS, the
please.
foundation, right? Because whatever that is being spent on SPS for Rift Watchers goes into the SPS Foundation. I'm not sure if it's called the SPS Foundation. The
The
Treasury.
DAO,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah. So this move does provide some sort of support to SPS itself, but technically it shouldn't because you are supporting yourself by yourself, which shouldn't make sense. So if SPS wants to be a stable DAO, my opinion is that they needs to take the SPS that was being spent on Rift Watchers, either burn it or you have to swap it out for other forms of currency to provide some sort of backing, or even US dollars, or even shares, or even other form of assets to provide backing. So I do not believe when other content creators says that, oh, if you're going to lock up the SPS and then SPS acts as a support, uh, the 4 million SPS is going to act as a support for SPS. Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the thing is, and we've talked about this before, but it's going to lock up a bunch of SPS, but like locking up SPS only matters like it. There's a supply crunch, but that can go either way, right? Somebody then could easily move the market up or move the market down. If there's no demand, right, and somebody wants to move the market down and there's not a ton of liquidity, then that price is going to fall fast.
Now, if they really want to give sorry to cut you off, like if they really want to give
okay.
SPS some sort of backing, right? Think about it. For every cut that is transacted, for example, you take the transaction price, let's say it's 5%, right? You take maybe 1% of 2% of every transaction, the whatever currency in DC, the convert it to US dollars and lock it up in the SPS fund and let it grow by itself over time. That would be amazing.
Something that I've been just like mulling around recently, and maybe I'll just throw it out here so we can crowdsource it a little bit. But right now there's a 5% market fee, right? So if you were to use the Splinterlands market, a lot of people end up going to places like Peak Monsters or Monster Market, IO, whatever. And so that fee is made by the other people. But, the fee for using the market, both rental and sales, that 5% is technically company revenue, right? So the company gets to do with it whatever they feel like. Most of the time, which hopefully they're paying well the new developers that they've brought on to build a better game. But part of me looks at that and says, well, what if you did like 1% or 0.5%, similar to what you're saying, right? And then put that into the DAO. And the only way then to put it into the DAO is you'd need to convert it to SPS. So that in and of itself, by people playing the game, using the market, being part of the economy, you would be creating a consistent buy pressure on SPS just by the company operating. Also, on top of that, you would be funding the DAO. So the DAO would have this constant influx of money that would then be able to be spent as capital somewhere else, right? So hopefully if there's an opportunity or a promo or whatever, you know what I mean? Or let's say they wanted to buy a Super Bowl ad, whatever kind of craziness, right? But it would create this kind of nice upward pressure. So I don't know if there's a flaw in my thinking, but it's just something that like moving forward, I was like, how does the DAO continue to get money outside of card releases? And card releases will be consistent enough, but it'd be nice to see some kind of upward price pressure.
The asset that the DAO carries should not be Splinterlands asset. It needs to be a defensive asset.
Okay. Well,
because
people have been saying that they should back with Bitcoin too.
If you ask me, it would be a mix. It can be a mix, but USD would give the most confidence to investors and holders of the SPS currency. But I'm not sure if there's legal implication, like would it become a mutual fund kind of thing where you need licenses or regulations to hold US dollars in like a mutual fund. But if you're able to do that, then this can fly. Like the idea can fly.
Would you back the DAO would you buy Bitcoin to back it? Similar to what Terra Luna was doing, because a lot of people have
because it proves that it doesn't work.
Well,
it proves that it doesn't work. Yeah. So I would.
It proved, but here's the thing: it proved that it didn't work because of the fact that Terra Luna, like the tokenomics, the way that was set up, was flawed from the beginning, because you had two essentially fake coins that were supporting each other. So when they both went down, you just ended up selling another fake coin, right?
Yeah.
The least fake coin, aka Bitcoin, in order to try and support them, and obviously that just kept crashing the market. But don't you think that the Splinterlands ecosystem is a little bit different than that between DEC and SPS?
Well, So uh when you see if the DAO is being supported by BTC, right? It means
Hmm.
that the value of SPS will be closely pegged to BTC. If BTC rises, SPS would rise. If BTC falls, SPS price would fall as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But if it's backed by the dollar, then it just gives it a steady base of value of fiat value, but there's no upside. So it is
Gotcha.
like a reserve, it's a reserve. It's not an investment fund. If it's
Hmm.
holding BTC, it becomes like an investment fund because there is upside, right? But there's also downside. So there is risk
True.
involved. But if it's just the dollar, then it's a reserve, which could be ever growing, that will just keep growing in dollar value, which should bring SPS up only as long as the game survives. As long
Yeah.
as the game survives and there's transaction, then the value of the SPS should just keep going up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's catch up on some of the comments here. So Jubby's saying hopefully common plots would at least be $200, or else I'll cry when mine's that. Okay, so my prediction, you know me, I hate to put predictions out, but I wouldn't be surprised if common plots range anywhere between $40 to $50. I'm just putting that out there, and I'm basing that on the price ranges of where totems are at. So I'm not saying that I'm right, but I just wouldn't be surprised if the same kind of pricing structure is used for totems. Might be a little bit more, but I don't know. I don't know that 200 as a floor is going to be there. We'll see. Icy Flow, I should have shorted Luna, but did a 3x shorting Doge. Hey, man, it's better to have something than nothing. So, Shopboy, did you end up answering my question? Best way to put money into the game? We did answer the question, Shopboy. It's probably best to just go back and listen because both Godzilla and I gave different ones. But Litecoin or Binance Smart Chain are going to be your quick answers for that. So,
yeah.
John, I would agree. I want land as a player, not an investor. Hence, waiting for release. Icy Flow. I sold my land and bought a 100x XP card in Rising Star. Dang, son. All right. Well, somebody's going heavy on Rising Star. What if land is 100K? You sell then? Well, here's the thing, Rick. If it's 100K but producing, like if it's like an income producing asset, then I probably don't sell. I don't know. We'll see. Here's the thing. If land ever goes to 100K, I think cards will probably be outrageously high too. And I am now collecting, or at least I'm not selling any of the rewards cards that I have right now. So hopefully if those do like a 10x, that'd be kind of nice. I want to brew my own spells, grow my own grains, just participate. Let's go. Easiest way I can think of is PayPal. Or Lordo, the only problem is it seems PayPal is down. Ice Ninja Pro got lucky when I sold my gold for Gin Inferno for 33 when it pumped. Love it. Love seeing everybody here make money. Vilson, you got a code? Hit me up on Discord. Oh man. All right. That would be pretty cool. Thanks, dude. Was Luna a rug pull? I can't answer that. I have no idea.
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I can answer that.
Or
You
you
have to
can't answer
ask.
that. Okay.
Yeah, you got to ask the founders, right? No, everyone said there's an attack by Citadel, BlackRock, blah blah blah. But there's just an article coming out that said that they are not involved in any of this Luna thing. So it's tough, Someone, I don't know. Maybe if the FBI goes in, they can find something.
If I had to guess, and again, this is just on like social perception, like Do Kwon was he's obviously doxxed and a very public figure. He's been around like the podcast circuit, interview circuit. So like, this looks awful for him, and to think that he played any part in like having some kind of inside role to collapse his own project. Like, can you imagine being in his position if he ever wanted to like get capital to put together another project?
Yep.
Like nobody would want to work with him in the future. So from a rug pull, I don't know that I necessarily see that unless he's got some private wallet somewhere else that he just did this and then he's going to change his name and go retire to another island.
If you ask me, yeah, it looks like, I would guess it's an attack on him and the system for certain reasons. Like it's being targeted on purpose. There is a plan, and then it was executed with the intention to cause it to fail. So,
ooh, are we getting into conspiracy theories here and how the SEC
no,
is going to go after him now?
no. Like I believe, I would guess that it's not the founder or the team itself. It's like external coordinated attack, but if you ask me, I would think like the major companies like BlackRock and stuff, they would not dabble in this because they would not taint their reputation. Their reputation is more than anything in in trading and investment. So they are making tons of money elsewhere. They don't have to crash crypto market just to do this. So my guess is there are people going after to Quan or like Luna for a certain reason,
Yeah,
or on purpose to test the system, and they succeeded. Yeah.
they
I don't think it
definitely
happened by
succeeded.
chance for sure. It didn't
No.
happen by chance.
Man, I wish I could like find some of the tweets that he had. Like there was a tweet that's being like quote retweet whatever on Twitter like nonstop today, which is him like I don't know, several months ago somebody made a thread saying if a billionaire wanted to like do this, somebody with a lot of money wanted to do this, they could crash the system doing it. And he like
Oh yeah, I
literally
saw it.
responds and said, "This is the dumbest thread I've ever read. Like all my billionaire friends, good luck trying." And then
Yeah.
now like literally what was like laid out as a blueprint ended up happening, which is crazy.
Yeah.
uh so Shopboy, so was Luna Rugpo. Okay, so I think they gave a good answer on 24 minutes back. Lordo, thanks for letting him know. All right, Shopboy, here's something that I'll do. I mean, because you're not the first person. In fact, I get a bunch of like DMs about this. So maybe if it's worthwhile, I'll try to do a quick video showing like the two different avenues that Godzilla and I talked about, whether that's through BSC or through Litecoin. So we'll try to make a little video of that for you guys, especially because there might be some new people coming into the game, hopefully over the next couple of months. Once you get something like Litecoin, all right. So Lord is responding there. Does Totem already have a utility? Justin, I don't think so, but I think it may once land does come out. I see Flu saying no conspiracy, just broken tokenomics.
Very true. Very, very true.
Well, I see
agree.
Flo. The only conspiracy that I'll entertain about this, because I think the world is made up of so many individual actors who have their own motivations. But the only thing that I'll look at is this would be the reason that the U.S. government and SEC would have to point to and say we need to regulate stable coins, right? And if you look
Yep.
at Luna and UST versus DAI, actually not DAI, but like USDC, GUSD, Binance US dollar, like this is the one that became the most popular because it was decentralized, meaning that there was like literally no control. The government had zero control. The Fed had zero control over it. And so watching it crash and burn was definitely in the interests of regulators. And so I'm not saying that they were behind it. I'm just saying that this is definitely an opportunity that they'll take advantage of if they want to come heavy-handed on crypto specifically, right? Crypto or like DeFi specifically.
Yep.
But that's just my tinfoil hat. Don't come after me. This is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not saying anything here.
Yeah,
man.
Tokenomics is tough. Like to understand it and then to build something, it's still work in progress. But unfortunately, the experiments are being done on real money, people's savings. That's really, really sad. And the funny thing is that people don't know that they are part of the experiment,
Mm-hmm.
That's the unfortunate part because it's crypto, right? There's no one to tell you what's safe, what's not, what you should do, what you should not. But a lot of people want that freedom but are not willing to pay the price for that freedom. Freedom has a price. That's it. Freedom doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember, like the elements of freedom also are like the elements of like this Wild West where there's no rules, there's no protection. Yep. And unless you are making sure that you're aware of every single threat, right? Like I think of all those like Western movies or like U.S. Western movies where it's just like unless you got a way to hunt your own food, you have a gun to protect yourself. Like it's just. And again, this has nothing to do with guns. I'm just saying, like, if you don't have if you're not fully aware and you don't have all of the bases covered, then you are susceptible to any kind of major thing.
Yeah. So I'm more supportive of like an Asian view where sometimes you got to give up some freedom to to get back some. You give up some to earn some. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's up to you to think, but I just feel bad for those who are not like that well informed, then
yeah.
they suffered major losses. Then it's really sad because Twitter is sad. Like if you go look at the Luna or Duocon's Twitter, it's just wow,
It's
it's like graveyard, like freaking
I mean,
graveyard.
well, and on a serious note, like I mean, there seems to be like people who are suffering from like severe like depression about this because they lost a ton. But you know, at the end of the day, and I don't say this with like any kind of sarcasm. Like at the end of the day, it's like it's just money, right? And
Yeah,
like
and
you
the
know,
world is cruel.
don't do anything to your health over just money because you can always go and hopefully make more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if you harm yourself in any way, like that can be
yeah,
irreversible.
yeah. Like diversify. Don't put your eggs in market. Try to
Hmm.
learn as much. Gather more information for do your own research. Like all this, time and time again. Any game, any crypto, any investment, you guys got to put in the hard work. And yeah, if you lose money, then earn it again. And then don't over invest. Just invest what you can lose, and then
And take profits.
yeah, take profits.
It's good to
Yep, take
do that.
profits. Health
Um,
comes first, and always invest what you're willing to lose.
there
Very
you go,
right.
Wilson.
Yeah, and in
Fantastic way to look
Splinterlands
at
as
it.
well. Like yeah, when things are too optimistic, always
Yeah.
ask yourself like, is it too good to be true? And if everyone thinks like that, then it means that the market has already reflected that price. These are
Hmm.
things you need to consider. Um, yeah, take profits
Yeah. I
when you
mean,
can.
I've become very public with this now because I don't want there to be like a random stigma, but it's like I literally sell 1/3 of whatever I make in the game every single day. Like, and there's no
Mhm.
emotion behind it, right? And it's
Yeah,
just because I want to make sure that I am getting some value back because nobody saw this happening to Luna. And I'm not saying that I want this to happen to Splinterlands, but like it could be one big hack away from people losing all their assets, losing faith in the game, whatever. Right. So all I'm saying is that you have to prepare for the worst. And if you're like putting all of your eggs in one basket and that basket gets destroyed,
yeah,
it's devastating. And I can understand
yeah.
that.
And you could see that this could be a blessing in disguise for Splinterlands, man. Can you imagine if you went with the same model as Luna and ta-da! It happened to us. It happened to us instead. Like,
Yeah.
this is a just really expensive but great lessons for everyone in the crypto ecosystem. That huge lessons. Like, I think many of the developers, founders of token and protocols will be scratching their head and like, wow, like what you thought was like the gold standard just vanished overnight. It's just that cruel. And at the same time, you see people losing lots of money, and then you see people making money from it because they shorted. That's just a cruel world, and that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, man. Should we start to wrap up then? We've been on for almost
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I know it's late for you, but like I said, I could do this all day. Like this is literally what I love talking about. So, and with you, we can always go deep into any topic. But um, any closing thoughts on I guess on anything that we discussed today?
Yeah, like
What are you looking forward to? Maybe.
I think now it's like it has really reached a low for not just Splinterlands and just for crypto in general.
Sure.
Um, I foresee like that there is a delay in the upcoming updates. It feels like not in the past. It felt like Splinterland was getting a reset in the recent months, like a reset, right? Everything, but it seems like wow, crypto just received a huge reset as well, and you know, capital is limited now. People do not has as much money to put into the game now, so it's a good time to fix the game. Because
Mhm.
if you come up with packs, Rift Watchers, people are not gonna buy them up because everyone has limited funds. People have thrown in lots of money in Chaos Legion already. So now take the time to build the game properly, improve on the game rather than work on selling a promo card. It's the worst time to sell a promo card now. So no, take the time to build the game, build the product, improve on it, and then like when things get better, then maybe then think about introducing more cards, more packs. But I feel that the funds have dried up,
Yeah.
so it's time to work on the game before fresh capital, fresh money will be interested to come in. It's gonna be a boring like May, June. I feel it's gonna be like underwhelming. The game feels stagnant, but
Yeah.
the good thing is the runway of the company is pretty healthy, like easily 2 years. So they have money, cash to keep the company going, which is a good thing for like any new company or startup. So um, keep working on it. But I think in terms of the economics part of that Matt is working, I hope he consults more experts. He consult more people on how to build the economy. I think more brains would help him as well. Then just play the game, get as much rewards, and yeah, pretty excited for the new reward system.
Same.
I'm not very optimistic now because I haven't seen like what's coming and the new focus system. So, but I think we touched on a lot of like possible improvements that would help lift the game up to the next level. I hope it comes soon. Or things I hope that the team will consider. I might have to DM the team like, hey, I got a proposal. Would you want to see? Can you spare me 5 minutes? Like a lift elevator proposal.
It does seem like they're open to ideas. I just wonder if there's a lot of noise that they have to work through. So, I think something that we could try to do to leverage the audience that we have on this channel is if there are things that are worth getting in front of like the team's attention in a timely manner, then we use that. They want us to use the whole feedback.splinterlands.com. So I think if we can find a way to like maybe put one of those proposals in and then talk through it on like a video here and really get that out, might help people to it might galvanize people to start going in and actually upvoting things and saying like, hey, this is a good idea. I think the team should focus on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, let's do one of these sessions, and then we throw in some feedbacks and feedback document and get people to bump it up if they
bump it up. There you go. Well, we'll be here singing for your upvotes on it.
Lobbies.
Yeah. So here, before we close out, just to answer Rick's question, I do not sell assets. So he's saying, what do you mean you sell 1/3 of your assets? I thought you keep your cards. So I do not sell assets in the game, and the only assets for me are SPS and cards. I view DEC as income, and I don't have a use for vouchers right now, so I view that as income. So every day, whatever I earn, either from playing the game, renting my cards out, or getting through vouchers, I sell 1/3 of that, and I buy myself some ice cream, and then the other 2/3 I reinvest that back into the game. So just to have something, but I don't sell cards. I don't sell SPS. I guess land is technically an asset too. So
I'm buying vouchers.
Oh, vouchers are a good buy. They're under $1 again. They're like 80 cents. Remember that huge flip? Just wait until the validator nodes. Oh, it's gonna be crazy, man.
Yeah.
Lord is saying basically take a bit of risk off when you're up. You know what's funny is like I'm doing this now because I learned I wasn't doing it when everything was up. Like I was just like so I'm trying to get into the habit. I'm trying to be a disciplined like investor in a sense where it's just like if every day I just do it unemotionally, I sell 1/3 when the market is down, then I will continue doing that. I put in the habits now. I will continue doing that when the market goes up, right?
Yep.
And whether it goes up slow or whether it goes up parabolic, every day I'll be like, I want to hold and I want to get more and more, but I've been selling 1/3 every day, no emotion, and I just do it and I'm happy. So,
discipline.
It's hard.
I'm also trying. I'm also doing that right now. Discipline, so, like
there you go.
Yeah. All right. That's
cool,
good.
man. All right. Well, this is awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming through. I know we've done a ton of live streams on the channel lately, so thanks for spending time here. Godziel, I appreciate you taking the time to come on, man. It's always a lot of fun with you.
Yep. Thank you guys. It was fun meeting. The usual like IC Flow, Ahmed. I've seen you always on the stream supporting. Thank you so much. And yeah, probably next time we just gotta when we have the chat, I will try to blast out some notifications, get
Yeah,
people notified of our stream. I want to hear more from the our viewers and like what questions they have, what troubles they have, then we can talk about it, chat with them. And that's what I really enjoy doing, just chatting with you guys.
yeah, for sure. All right, everybody, have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch up with you soon. Hopefully, we'll get some more cool news from the team soon. But the back to peg is going to be something to watch for the economy.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Take care. See you guys. Thanks for supporting.